Huh? I know this is all old cartons and stuff. Yeah? Old paper to recycle. There's like a bunch of it. I don't know, me and Gavin found an entry in the there's like lots of it. I don't know what they do with that. Anyway, how the paint body feeds on drama. How the paint body feeds on drama.
Looks like a big maze.
Yeah, I think you can go on the boat with this road here. Or through there. Not here, but more on the bridge there. And that's where they work to dismantle the... If there are other people around, preferably your partner or a close family member, the paint body will attempt to provoke them. The paint body will attempt to provoke them. Yeah. For sure. Push their buttons. Push their buttons. As the expression goes, so it can feed on the ensuing drama. So it can feed on the drama. Very important for the paint body to feed on drama, to keep existing, for sure. That I'm aware of it. And that's the challenge, to not let yourself get caught up in your paint body, and after that take it out on other people. Paint bodies love intimate relationships and families because that is where they get most of their food. It is hard to resist another person's paint body that is determined to draw you into a reaction. Instinctively, it knows your weakest, most vulnerable points. If it doesn't succeed the first time, it will try again and again. It will try again and again. Yeah, for sure. Until it finds its course, finds what it has to, what it's looking for. That's for sure. The paint body needs to feed on something. The drama is very, very important to keep the paint body alive. As long as you're aware of that, as long as you're aware of what keeps you locked in that state of mind, you have a great chance to come out. For sure. Paint bodies love intimate relationship. That's it. The other person's paint body wants to awaken yours so that both paint bodies can mutually energize each other. Energizing each other. Yeah, that's very important. Okay, let's take a break. Many relationships go through violent and destructive paint body episodes at regular intervals. It is almost unbearably painful for a young child to have to witness that emotional violence of their parents' paint bodies, and yet that is the fate of millions of children all over the world. The nightmare of their daily existence. That is also one of the main ways in which the human paint body is passed on from generation to generation. After each episode, partners make up, and there is an interval of relative peace to the limited extent that the ego allows it. Excessive consumption of alcohol will often activate the paint body, particularly in men, but also in some women. This is very, very important. You know, for sure, that's why sometimes we fight against each other in couples. I can see that being Excessive consumption of alcohol will often activate the pain body, particularly in men, but also in some women. When a person becomes drunk, he goes through a complete personality change as the pain body takes him over. A deeply unconscious person whose pain body habitually replenishes itself through physical violence often directs it towards his spouse or children. When he becomes sober, he is truly sorry and may say he will never do this again. And he means it. The person who is talking and making promises, however, is not the entity that commits the violence. And so you can be sure that it will happen again and again unless he becomes present, recognize the pain body within himself, and thus disidentified from it. In some cases, counseling can help him do that. Most pain bodies want to both inflict and suffer pain, but some are predominantly either perpetrators or victims. In either case, they feed on violence, whether emotional or physical. Some couples who may think they have fallen in love are actually feeling drawn to each other because their respective pain body complement each other. Sometimes the roles of perpetrator and victims are already clearly prescribed the first time they meet. Some marriages that are thought to be made in heaven are actually made in hell. If you ever lived with a cat, you will know that even when the cat seems to be asleep, it still knows what is going on. Still knows what is going on because at the slightest unusual noise, its ears move towards it, and its eyes may open slightly. Dormant pain bodies are the same. On some level, they are still awake, ready to jump into action when an appropriate trigger presents itself. Intimate relationships. In intimate relationships, pain bodies are often clever enough to lie low until you start living together, and preferably have signed a contract committing yourself to be with this person for the rest of your life. You don't just marry your wife or husband, you also marry her or his pain body. And your spouse marries yours. It can be quite a shock when perhaps not long after moving in together or after the honeymoon, you find suddenly one day there is a complete personality change in your partner. Her voice becomes harsh or shrill as she accuses you, blames you, or shouts at you, most likely over a relatively trivial matter. Or she becomes totally withdrawn. What's wrong? You ask. Nothing is wrong, she says. But the intensely hostile energy she emanates is saying everything is wrong. When you look into her eyes, there is no light in them anymore. If a heavy veil has descended, and the being you know and love, which before was able to shine through her ego, is now totally obscured. A complete stranger seems to be looking back at you, and in her eyes there is hatred, hostility, bitterness, or anger. When she speaks to you, it is not your spouse or your partner who is speaking, but the pain body speaking through them. Whatever she is saying is the pain body version of reality. A reality completely distorted by fear, hostility, anger, and a desire to inflict and receive more pain. At this point, you may wonder whether this is your partner's real face that you had never seen before, and whether you made a dreadful mistake in choosing this person. It is, of course, not the real face, just the pain body that temporarily has taken possession. It would be hard to find a partner who does not carry a pain body, but it would perhaps be wise to choose someone whose pain body is not excessively dense. That's for sure. Dense pain bodies, we'll come back with this He's out.